having impressed on her heart, the beautiful image of Shri Rama as he appeared while running in pursuit of the false deer. Sita incessantly repeated Shri Hari's name. When the Lord of Raghu saw his younger brother coming, he outwardly expressed much concern. As you have left Janka's daughter alone and come here against my instructions. Hosts of the demons are roaming about in the forest. I therefore suspect Sita is not at hermitage. Lakshmana clasped Sri Rama's lotus feet and replied with joined palm, Lord, it is no fault of mine. Accompanied by his younger brother, the Lord went back to his hermitage on the bank of the Godavari. When he saw the hermitage bereft of the Janka's daughter, he felt as perturbed and afflicted as any common man. Sita, Janka's daughter, the very mine of virtue, of such flawless beauty, character, austerity, and devotion. Lakshmana consolidated him in many ways. He cautions all the creepers and trees that stood on the way as he went along in search of her. O birds and deer, O string of bees, have you seen the fond-eyed Sita, the wagtail, the parrot, the pigeon, the deer, the fish, the swarm of bees, the clever cuckoo, the jasmine birds, the pomegranate, the lightning, the lotus, the autumnal moon, the gliding serpent, the noose of Varuna, the god of water, the bow of Cupid, the swan, the elephant, and the lion? Now hear themselves praised. The bilva fruits and the gold banana rejoice and do not feel the least misgiving of bashfulness. Listen, Janka's daughter, in your absence today they are all glad as if they have got a kingdom. How can you bear such rivalry? Why do you not reveal yourself quickly, my darling? In this way the Lord surged and laminated like an uxorious husband, sore smitten with pains of separation. Sri Rama, who is bliss personified and has all his wishes accomplished, and who is both unborn and immortal, behaved like a mortal. Further on they saw the king of the vulture lying, with his thought fixed on Sri Rama's feet, which bear characteristic marks on their souls. Sri Rama here well nigh exhausted the list of the birds and beasts as well as of inanimate objects to which India poet usually liken the limbs of the charming lady. Of these the eyes are compared to fish and the wagtail as well as to the eyes of fawn, the nose to the parrot beak, the neck to that of the pigeon, the curly hair to the swarm of bees, the voice to the notes of the cuckoo, the teeth to the jasmine birds, and the seed to the pomegranate, the complexion to the lightning, the eyes and the face as well as hands and feet to the lotus, the face to the autumnal moon, the breadth of hair hanging on the back to a gliding serpent, the smile to the noose of Varuna, the eyebrow to Cupid bow, the gait to that of the swan and the elephant, the waist to the loin, the breast to the bilva fruits, and thigh to the gold banana. The idea here is that through models of the beauty so far as earthly women are concerned, none of these analogous stood comparison with Sita's limbs, and hence they dare not face the latter out of the shame. Now that Sita was no more to be seen, they all regained their supremacy and exulted over their good fortune. The scriptures mention 48 marks on the sole of the Lord's feet, 24 on each. Those on the left are a vertical line, Urdhvartanka, a swastika, and Ashtakona, a figure consisting of pair of square intersecting each other. Goddess Lakshmi, represented by a golden coil describing 2.5 concentric circle. A plung, 2.5 concentric circle. A plug, a pastel, a figure of a pastel. Pastel means a plug. A pastel means pastel. Pastel means pastel. A pastel means pastel. Pastel. A pastel means pastel. A plug. A pastel. Pastel means 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 a small heavy tool with round and used to crushing food. It's called the pastel. A small heavy tool with a round and used to crushing food is called the pastel. Small heavy tool with a round and used to crushing food etc into powder in a special bowl is called the pastel. Small heavy tool with a round and used to crushing food into powder in a special bowl is a mortar is called the pastel. A pastel, a figure of Shesha, the serpent god, an arrow, the sky represented by a chipper, a sky represented by a chipper. Chipper means represented by a chipper, sky represented by a chipper. Chipper means sky represented by a chipper. Chipper means a method of writing in which secret pattern or particular set of letter or symbol is used to represent other letter symbols is called a chipper. A method of writing in which secret pattern or particular set of letters or symbol is used to represent other letter symbols. A method of writing in which a secret pattern or particular set of letter or symbol is used to represent other letter symbols. A method of writing in which a secret pattern or particular set of letter or symbol is used to represent other letter symbol is called the a petal, a swastika, a vertical line. Those are left. The swastika, the vertical line, the swastika and ashtakona, intersecting triangle consists of a pair of squares intersecting each other. Goddess Lakshmi represented a golden coin describing 2.5 concentric circles, a plug, a pastel, a figure of Shesha, the serpent, an arrow, and a sky represented by Shifar, a lotus, a carrot, a thunderbolt, a grain of barley, the wish-yielding tree, the wish-yielding tree in heaven, a god, a wish-yielding tree in heaven, a god. God means what is the meaning of God? God means God means wish-yielding. God means to cause somebody to do something by making him her angry is called the god. To cause somebody to do something by making him her angry is called the god. To cause somebody to do something by making him her angry is called the god. To cause somebody to do something by making him her angry is called the god. To cause somebody to do something by making him her angry is called the god. To cause somebody to do something by making him her angry is called the god. To cause somebody to do something by making him her angry is called the god. To cause somebody to do something by making him her angry is called the god. To cause somebody to do something by making him her angry is called the god. A god, a flag, a crown. God, somebody to do something angry is called the god. A cause the cause somebody to do something by making him her angry is called the god. A crown, a discus, Sudarshana, a throng, Sudarshana, a discus, Sudarshana, a throne, the staff of Yama, the god of death, a choris, an umbrella, a human figure and a wreath of victory placed by the brides round the neck of the suitor of her choice, while those born on the right soul are the river Saryu, a cow's hoof, the earth, a pitcher, a small flag, The earth, the picture, a picture. The earth, a picture. Picture means the earth, a picture. Picture means picture. Picture means a large container for holding and pouring liquid. Pitcher. Large container for holding and pouring liquid is called the pitcher. A player who throws the ball to the player from the other team is called the pitcher. To who tries to hit is called a player who throws a ball to a player from the other team. A large container for holding and pouring liquid. Holding and pouring liquid is called the pitcher. A pitcher, a small flag, a jumbo fruit, the black plum, the crescent, a conch shell, a षटकोण, a figure consists of a pair of the triangle intersecting each other. A triangle, a mass. Mass means M-A-C-E, mass. Mass means M-A-C-E, mass. Mass means 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 mace means a special stick carried a sign of authority by an official such as mayor. A special stick carried a sign of authority by an official such as mayor. Sign of authority is called the mace. This is mace. This special which shows the sign of authority is called the mace. Sign of authority is called the mace. This mace. Special stick used to sign of authority is called the mace. A jiva in an individual soul represented by the point illustrating in atomic size. Bindu, a point. Shakti represented by a semicircle and forming the base of the bindu. A reservoir of nectar. Reservoir of nectar. A reservoir of nectar. Three horizontal line like a fold of the belly. A fish, the full moon, a lute, a flute, a bow, a quail, a swan, and an ornament for the head of the lady. It should be remembered here that Shri Rama also bears the same mark in her soul, with this difference that the marks on Shri Rama's right soul are borne by the Sita on her left, vice versa. So the hero of Raghu line, the ocean, the hero of Raghu line, the ocean of mercy, the ocean of mercy, the hero of Raghu line, the ocean of mercy, the hero of Raghu line, the ocean of mercy, Kelsey's Jatayu's head with his lotus head. At the bird gazed on Shri Rama's countenance, the home of loveliness, all the pain disappeared. The vulture now recovered himself and spoke as follows. Listen, Rama, the allayer of the fear of transmigration. It was the 10-headed Ravana, my lord, who reduced me to this plight. It was the same wretch who carried off Janka's daughter. He took her away, holy sir, to the south, while she kept screaming loudly as an osprey. I have survived, my lord, only to behold you. My life now is about to depart, O fountain of mercy. Said Shri Rama, live yet more, dear one. He, however, replied with smiles on his countenance, he whose very name so declares the Veda redeemed the most depraved souls. As an soul, even if it appears on his lips at the moment of the death, it present before me in a visible form. What more is wanting now, for which I should restrain my body any longer? With his eyes full of tears, the Lord of Raghu replied, dear father, you have attained to an invincible state by virtue of your own noble deed. Nothing is difficult of attainment in this world to those who have others' interest at heart. Casting off your body, dear father, proceed now to my divine abode. What shall I give you when you have all your desire already accomplished? But on reaching their side, tell not my father about Sita's abduction. If I am no other than Rama, if I am what I am, the 10-headed Ravana and the whole house will go and say everything to him. The vulture now dropped his body and assumed Sri Hari's own form, bedecked with many jewels and clad in yellow attire of matchless splendor, and possessed of a dark hue and 4 long arms, and with his eyes full of tears, he burst into the presence of his Lord. Glory to the Shri Rama of incomparable beauty, who is absolute as well as qualified and true impeller of gunas, mayas too. His fierce arrows are potent enough to cut off the terrible arm of the 10-headed Ravana. I incessantly adore the all-merciful Shri Rama, the ornament of the earth, who is endowed with a form dark as a rain cloud, a face resembling the blue lotus and large eye resembling the red lotus. Possessed, uh, possessed of long arm, he rid his devotee of the fear of transmigration. His strength is immeasurable. He is without beginning and unborn, the one without the second, unmean feast and imperceptible, beyond the reach of the senses, though attainable with the help of the Vedic hymns, the dispeller of pair of opposites such as joy and sorrow, birth and death, pleasure and pain, etc. Consciousness personified, the supporter of the earth, the delighter of the soul of countless saints and devotee who repeat the sacred name of the Rama. I will extol Shri Rama, who loves and is loved by those who are free from desire, and curb the host of the vicious prosperities such as lust and so on. He whom the Vedas glorify under the name of the Brahma, pure, free from the tent of Maya, all pervading, passionless and unborn, whom the sage attain to through manifold practice such as meditation, discretion, dissipation, and yoga, self-discipline. That fountain of mercy has become man's feast as the very incarnation of the beauty, and enraptured the whole animate and inanimate creation. He is the beat that resides in the lotus of my heart, and through every limb of it shines the splendor of many, a God of love. He who is at once inaccessible and easily accessible, who has glueless dispositions and is both partial and impartial and ever placid, who is placid means, what is the meaning of placid? Placid means placid, 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 ever placid. Placid means placid. Placid means placid. Placid means placid. Placid means calm and not easily excited is called the placid. Calm and not easily excited is called the placid. Calm and is not easily excited is called the placid. Calm and not easily peacefully free from interruption or disturbance is called the placid. Peacefully free for interruption or disturbance is called the placid. Calm and easily excited is called the placid. Calm and easily excited is called the placid. Calm and easily not easily excited is called the placid. Calm and not easily excited is called the placid. And ever placid, whom the yogi perceive with great effort, subduing their sense, whom the yogis perceive with great efforts, subduing their senses and mind, whose yogi perceive with great effort, subduing their senses and mind, that Rama, the abode of Rama, Rama, goddess Lakshmi, and the lord of the 3 spheres, the entire creation, is ever at the beck and call of his devotees. May he abide in my heart, whose holy praises put a stop of transmigration. Asking the boon of the uninterrupted devotion, the vulture Jatayu ascends to the Shri Hari's abode. Shri Rama performed his funeral rites, and with due ceremony and with his own hands. The Lord of Raghu is most tender-hearted and compassionate to the humble, and show his mercy even where there is no occasion for it. On a vulture who is most unclear and carnivorous birds, he conferred a state which is solicited even by the yogis. Listen, Uma, those people are unfortunate indeed who abandon Sri Haris and become attached to the object of sense. The 2 brothers proceeded further in quest of Sita and marked the thickening of the forest even as they went. The thicket was full of creepers and trees and inhabited by many birds and deers, elephants and lions. Sri Rama overthrew the demon Kabandha even as the latter met him on the way. He told him the whole story about the curse pronounced on him. The Sikh Durvasa had impacted me. The sin has now been wiped out by the sight of Lord's feet. Listen, O Gandharva, to what I tell you. I cannot tolerate an enemy of the Brahmans. He who without glue in thoughts, words, and deeds does service to the Brahmans, the very god of the earth, wins over Brahma, Shiva, myself, and other divinities. A Brahmans, ever though he curse you, beat you, or speak harsh words to you, is still worthy of adoration, so declare the saints. A Brahmans must be respected, though lacking in amiability and virtue, not so a Shudra, though possessing a host of virtues and rich in knowledge. The Lord instructed Kabandha in his own cult, the cult of devotion, and was delighted to at heart to see the devotion of his feet. Having regained his original form, that of Gandharva, he bowed his head to the lotus feet of the Shri Ram, the Lord of Raghu, and ascended to the heaven. Having conferred on him his own Gandharva estate, the beneficent Rama repaired to the hermitage of the Shabri. When Shabri saw that the Shri Rama had called at her abode, she recalled the words of the sages Matanga and was glad of heart with lotus like eyes, long arms, a tuft of matted hair adoring their head like a crown, and a garland of the white flower hanging upon their breasts. The two brothers looked the most charming, the most dark of you, and the other fair. Shabri felt protest and embraced with their feet. He was so overwhelmed with love that no words come to her lips again and again. She bowed her head at their lotus feet. Presently she took some water and reverently laved their feet and then conducted them to the seat of honor. She bought and offered to the Shri Rama the most delicious bulbs, roots, and fruits. The Lord partook of them, appreciating again and again. Joining her palm, she stood before him. As she gazed upon the Lord, her love waxed yet more ardent. How can I extol you? Lowest is descent, and the dullest of it as I am. A woman is the lowest of those who rank as the lowest of the low. Of women again I am the most dull-headed. O destroyer of sins, answered the Lord of the Raghu, listen, O good lady, to my words. I recognize no other kinship except that of devotion, despite caste, kinship, lineage, dharma, reputation, wealth, physical strength, numerical strength of his family, accomplishments and ability. A man lacking in devotion is of no more worth than a cloud without a water. Now I tell you the 9 forms of devotion. Please listen attentively and cherish them in your mind. The first in order to company with the saints, and the second is marked by the fondness for my stories. Humble service of the lotus feet of one's preceptor is the third form of the devotion, while the fourth type of devotion consists in singing my praises with glueless heart. Muttering my names with unwavering faith constitutes the fifth form of adoration revealed in Vedas. The sixth variety consists in practice of self-control and virtue, desisting from manifold activities and ever pursuing the course of conduct prescribed for the saints. He who practices the 7 types sees the words full of me without distinctions and reckons the saint as even greater than myself. He who cultivates the 8th type of devotion remains contented with whatever he gets and never think of detecting others' faults. The 9th form of devotion demands that one should be glueless and straight in one's dealings with everybody and should in his heart cherish implicit faith in me without either exclusion or depression. Whoever possessed any one of these 9 forms of devotion, be he man or woman or any other creature, sentient or insentient, most dear to me. Good lady, as for yourself, you are blessed with unflinching devotion to all these types. The prize which is hardly won by the yogis is within your easy reach today. The most incomparable fruit of seeing me is that the soul attains its natural state. If you know anything about Janka's daughter, my good lady, tell me her news. O fair dame, go to the Pampa lake, O Lord of the Raghu, where you will make friends with Sugriva. He will tell you everything, my lord, hero of the Raghu line. You are the steadily resolved and know everything. Nevertheless, you ask me, bowing her head at the Lord's feet again and again, she lovingly related the whole story of what the sage Matanga had told her and how eagerly she had watched his approach all the time. After telling the whole story, she gazed on the Lord's countenance and imprinted the image of his lotus feet on her heart, and casting her body in the fire of yoga, she entered Srihari's state wherefrom there is no return. O man, abandon your varied activities, sins and diverse creeds, which all give birth to the sorrow, and with genuine faith, says Tulsidas, be devoted to the feet of Shri Rama. The Lord comforted final beatitude even as a woman who was not only an outcast but an very mind of the sin. You seek happiness, my most foolish mind, by forgetting such a master. Sri Rama left even that forest and proceeded further. The two brothers were loyal among men and possessed immeasurable strength. The Lord lamented like one smitten with pangs of separation. He narrated stories and had many a dialogue with Lakshmana. Lakshmana marked the beauty of the forest, whose heart will not be stirred at its sight. United with their mates, all the swarms of birds and herds of deer are approaching me as it were. When the bucks see me and scampers away in fear, their mates would stop them, saying, you have nothing to fear, you may enjoy yourself at will, O progeny of deer. He has come in search of the gold deer. The elephant would take their mates along with them, as if to teach me a lesson that a man should never leave his wife alone. The second's law, however thoroughly studied, must be gone through over and over again. A king, however well served, should never be dependent upon, and a woman, scriptures, and kings, even though you may cherish her in your bosom, is never thoroughly mastered. See, brother, how pleasant the spring is, yet to me, bereft of my beloved, it is frightful. When the god of love found me, tortured by separation, languishing and all alone, he rushed against me with the verdant forest, bees and birds for his army. His spy, the wind, however, has seen me with my brother, and on their report the mind-born Cupid had held up his advancing army, and beside me, as it were, keepers have entwined themselves round gigantic trees, spreading as it were a variety of canopies in the sky. The platans and stately palms are standing like a beautiful pennons and a standard. He alone, who is stout of heart, could help being fascinated by their sight. Trees of the every description are adorned with flowers of the various kinds, like warriors arrayed in all their different kinds of panoply. Other beautiful trees standing here and there, looking charming like champions separately encamped. The murmuring cuckoos are his excited elephants, herons, and rooks, his camels and mules, peacocks, chakoras, and parrots, his noble war horses, the pigeon and swans, his Arab steed, the partridge and quails, his foot soldiers. There is no describing the whole host of the Cupid. Mountain rocks are his carrots, the rills his kettledrums, the chatkas, the birds that utter his praises, the glorious bees are his trumpets and clarinets, and the soft, cool, and the fragrant breeze have come in the capacity of his ambassadors, accompanied by an army complete in all four limbs, that is, the horse, the foot, the carrot, and the elephant. He goes about challenging all to a combat. Lakshmana, who remained firm even as the sight of the Cupid battle array, are men that counts in this world. His greatest strength lies in woman. He alone who can escape her is a mighty champion. Brother, there are three evils most formidable of all: lust, anger, and greed. In an instance, they distract the mind of hermits, who are the very repository of the wisdom. The weapon of greed are desire and hypocrisy, a lust not by the woman, while anger's weapon is harsh speech. So declare the great sages after dropping thought. Shri Rama, dear Uma, says Bhagwan Shiva is beyond the three gunas, sattva, rasa, and tamsa, through the Lord of the animate and inanimate creations, and the inner controller of all. By speaking as above, he demonstrated the miserable plight of the earthly lovers, and strengthened dissipation in the mind of the wise. Anger, lust, greed, pride, and delusions, all these get eliminated through Shri Rama's grace. He who wins the favor of that divine prayer is never deluded by his jugglery. Uma, I tell you my own realization, the only thing real in worship of Shri Rama, and the whole world is a dream. The Lord then repaired to the shore of the deep and beautiful lake, known by the name of the Pampa. Its water is as limpid as the heart of the sands, and it has charming flight. Flight means, what is the meaning of the flight? Flight means, what is the meaning of the flight? Flight. What is the meaning of the flight? Flight means flight. Flight. Flight means, what is the meaning of the flight? Flight means a action or process of flying thought the air. The action or process of flying thought the air. Through the air. The action or process of flying through the air. The action or process of flying through the air. The action or process of flying through the air. The action or process of flying through the air. The action or process of flying through the airs. Delusion. All these get eliminated through Shri Rama's grace. He who wins the favor of the divine prayer is never deluded by his jugglery. I tell you my own realization. The only thing real is worship of Shri Rama, and the whole world is a dream. The Lord then repaired to the shore of the deep and the beautiful lake known by the name of Pangpa. Its water was limpid as the heart of the scent and has charming flights of the steps on all its four sides. Beasts of the various kinds drank of its water wherever they listed, as if there was a crown of beggars ever present at the house of the generous man. Generous means, what is the meaning of generous? Generous means generous means crowd of the beggars. Generous means happy to give more money help than the usual or expected is called a large than usual is called a generous. Larger than usual is called the generous. Happy to give more money help than is usual or expected is called the generous. Happy to give more money than it usual or expected is called the generous. Happy to give more money than it usually expected is called the generous. So generous beast beggars is present house of the generous man. The crowd of the beggars ever present at the house of the generous man. The crowd of the beggars ever present in the house of the generous man. The crowd of the beggars ever present in the house of the generous man. Covered by the dense lotus leaves, the water could not be easily discussed, even as the attributed Brahma is not perceived when wheeled by the Maya ignorance. All the fishes that had their abode in the fathomless water of the lake were uniformly happy, even as the virtuous ever passed their days peacefully. Lotuses of the different colors had opened their petals, and swarm of bees sweetly hummed. Swarm and water flows made such a noise as though they had burst into the Lord's praises the moment they saw him. Birds like the chakravaka and the heron were lovely beyond words. One could form an idea of their beauty only after seeing them. The voice of the beautiful bird was so captivating that it seemed they invited the wayfarer who passed by them. By the side of the lake, hermits had erected their thatched cottage. There was charming forest trees all around. The champaka, the bakula, the kadamba, the tamla, the patala, the panasa, the palasha, the mango and many other varieties of trees had put forth new leaves and blossoms, and swarm of bees hummed on them. A delightful breeze which was naturally cool, gentle and fragrant, ever breathed there. A cuckoo cooed so sweetly that their melody disturbs the hermits in their meditations. Weighing down with the loads of their fruits, all the fruit tree well nigh touched the ground, even as the benevolent souls grow all more humble on getting a large fortune. And Shri Rama saw this most beautiful lake. He took a dip into it and felt supremely delighted. Seeing the pleasant shade of a stately tree, the Lord of Raghu sat in it with his younger brother. There all the gods and saints came once more, and having hymns his praises, returned to their several homes. The All-Merciful sat in most cheerful mood and discoursed with his younger brother on delightful topic. When the Sikhs Narada saw the Lord suffering the pangs of separation, he felt much perturbed at heart. It is the submission of my curse that the Lord is undergoing many hardship on oppressive nature. Let me therefore go and see such a noble Lord, for such an opportunity may not present itself again. Reflecting thus, Narada went, lute in hand, to the spot where the Lord was sitting at ease. He fondly sang in a soft voice the exploit of Shri Rama's dwelling upon them in all detail. As he protested themselves, the Lord lifted him up and held him in his embrace for a long time. After inquiring of his welfare, he seated him by his sides while Lakshmana reverently laved his feet. After much supplication, realizing that the Lord was pleased at heart, Narada joined his lotus palms and spoke as follows. Listen, O Lord of Raghu, generous by name as you are, you confer delightful boons that are unattainable as well as those that are attainable. Grant me, my master, only one boon that I asked of you, even though you already know it, even without my asking, indwelling as you do the heart of the all. You know my disposition, dear sake. Do I ever hide anything from my devotee? What object do I hold so dear, O chief of the sage, that you may not ask it of me? There is nothing which I may withhold from my votary. Never give up the belief even by mistake. Then Narada gladly said, there is the boon I presumes to ask, even though my Lord has many names, each greater than the others. As for the Veda declare that the name Rama, my Lord, surpass all other names in exterminating the whole brood of sins, even as a fowler kills an entire flock of birds. May the name Rama shine as a moon and the other names as so many stars in the cloudless sky of your devotee's heart during the full moon bright night of devotion to you. The all merciful Lord of Raghu replied to the sage, so be it. Thereupon Narada felt much delighted at heart and bowed at the Lord's feet. Seeing the Lord of Raghu so highly pleased, Narada spoke again in gentle tone. Listen, O Rama, when you impelled your Maya, deluding potency, and infatuated me, O Lord of Raghu, I wanted to marry. Why then did you not let me accomplish my desire? Listen, O sake, I tell you with all the emphasis at my command that I always take care of those who worship me with undividing faith, even as a mother guards her child. If an infant child run to catch hold of fire or a snake, the mother hold it aside. When, however, her son has grown up, she loves him no doubt, but no, not as before. The wise are like my grown-up sons, while humble devotees are like my infant child. A devotee depends on me, while the former wise man depends on his own strength, and both have to face enemies like lust and anger. Pondering thus, the prudent adore me and never take leave of devotion even after attaining wisdom. Lust, anger, greed, pride, and constitutes the most powerful army of ignorance, but among them all the fairest fire cast and the most troublesome is that incarnation of Maya, the Lord deluding potency called woman. Listen, O sakes, the Puranas, the Vedas, and saints declare that woman is like the vernal season to the forest of ignorance. They like the hot season, she dries up all the ponds and lakes of japa, the muttering of prayers, austerity, and religious observances. Against lust, anger, pride, and jealousy are so many frogs, as it were. Like the rainy season, woman is the only agency that gladdens them all. Even so, latent desires of vicious types are like a bed of lilies, to which, like the apple, she is ever agreeable. All the different virtues are like a bed of lotuses. Like the middle of the winter, woman who is the source of base sensuous pleasures, blight them all. Again, the overgrowth of the Yavaska plant in the shape of minus flourish when the close of winter is the shape of woman appears. For owls in the shape of sins, woman is delightful, night thick with darkness. Even so, reasons, strength, virtue, and truth are all so many fishes, as it were, and women so declare the wise is like a hook to catch them. A young woman is the root of all evil, a source of torments, and mine of all woes. Therefore, bearing this in mind, O sakes, I prevented your marriage. As the sage listened to the delightful word of the Shri Ram, the Lord of Raghu, a thrill ran through his body and his eyes filled with tears. He said to himself, tell me, is there any other masters whose will not it is to show such attachment and fondness for his servant? Men who refuse to worship such a Lord, shaking off all delusions, are bankrupt of wisdom, dull-witted and rash. The sage Narada again reverently spoke to the Lord. Listen, O Rama, who are well versed in Sakar's lore. Tell me, my Lord Raghuvira, hero of the Raghu line, the distinguishing mark of the saint, O dispeller of fear of transmigration. I tell you, dear sages, the quality of the saints by virtue of which they hold me in subjection. They are master of the six passions: lust, anger, greed, infatuation, pride, and jealousy. Sinless, disinterested, firm, possessing nothing, pure both within and without, full of bliss, of boundless wisdom, desireless, moderate in diet, truthful, inspired, learned and united with God, circumspect, bestowing honor on others, free from pride, strong-minded and highly conversant with the course of the Dharma. They are abode of virtue, above the sorrow of the world, and free from doubt. Nothing besides my lotus feet is dear to them, not even their body nor their home. They blush to hear themselves praised, but feel much delighted to hear others' praises. Even minded and placid, they never abandon the right course. Glueless by nature and loving, they are given over to prayers, austerity, control of the senses, self-denial, and religious observances, and undertake sacred work. They are devoted to feet of their Guru, Lord Govinda, Vishnu, and Brahmans. They are full of piety, forgiving, friendly to all, compassionate, cheerful under all circumstances, and sincerely devoted to my feet. They are further characterized by the discretion, modesty, knowledge of truth relating to God, as well as by the correct knowledge of the Vedas and Puranas. They never take recourse to hypocrisy, pride, or arrogance, nor set their foot on the evil path even by mistake. They are ever engaged in singing or hearing my stories, and are intent on doing good to others without any consideration. In short, for good sakes, the quality of the saints are so many numerous that they cannot be exhausted even by the Sharda, the goddess of speech, nor by the Vedas. Neither Sharda nor Shesha could tell them. Even as he heard this, the sage Narada clasped the Lord's lotus feet. In this way, the all-merciful Lord, the befriender of the meek, recounted with his own lips the virtue of his devotees. Narada bowed his head at the Lord's feet again and again and left for the abode of the Brahma, the Creator. The blessed are they, say Tulsidas, who, giving up all hopes, are steeped in love for Shri Hari. People who sing or hear the sanctifying praises of Ravana's foes shall be rewarded with steadfast devotion to Shri Rama, even without dissipation, japa, or concentration of mind. The body of the young woman is like a flame of the candle. Be not moved in it, O my mind, abandoning lust and pride. Worship Shri Rama and enjoy the company of the saints. Verse 22. For the 30 days recitation Shri Ram charit manse sakal Kali Lagu Vidhvanse Tatir Pusobana Samapta. The end of the third ascent into the Mansa lake of the Shri Rama's exploits that eradicates all the impurities of the Kali age. Shri Rama, 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 Shri Rama. Having impressed in her heart the beautiful. Beautiful means, what is the meaning of beautiful? Beautiful means beautiful. What is the meaning of beautiful? What is the meaning of beautiful? Beautiful means beautiful. Beautiful means beautiful. Beautiful means beautiful. Beautiful means very pretty or attractive, giving pleasure to the senses. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Beautiful image. Image means, what is the meaning of image? Beautiful image. Image means beautiful. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Image. Image means giving pleasure to the senses is called the beautiful. Image means a general impression that a person or organization give to a public is called the image. A general impression that a person or organization gives to a public is called the image. A general impression that a person or organization gives to a public is called the praise. The general impression that a person or organization gives to a public is called the image. The general impression that a person or organization gives to a public is called the image. A mental picture or idea of somebody or something is called the image. The mental picture or idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture of idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture or idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture or idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture of idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture or idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture or idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture or idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture or idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture or idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture or idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture or idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture or idea of somebody something is called the image. The mental picture or idea of somebody something is called the image. The general impression that person or organization give to a public is called the image. The general impression that a person or organization gives to the public is called the general impression that a person or organization give to a public is called the image. The general impression that a person or organization give to a public is called the image. The general impression that person or organization give to a public is called the image. Having impressed on her heart the beautiful image, the mental picture Shri Rama, a mental impression is called the image. The mental impression is called the image. Image means mental picture of idea or somebody something is called the mental picture of idea of somebody something is called the image. Shri Rama, the mental picture of idea of somebody something is called the Shri Rama. The image of the Shri Rama as he appeared while running in pursuit, as he appeared while running in pursuit of the false deer, in pursuit of the false deer, running in pursuit of the false deer, running in the pursuit of the false deer, running in pursuit of the false deer, running in pursuit of the false deer, running in the pursuit of the false deer. Sita incessantly repeated Shri Hari name, incessantly repeated Shri Hari's name, incessantly image of the Shri Ram, incessantly repeated Shri Hari's name, incessantly repeated Shri Hari's name, incessantly repeated Shri Hari's name. Incessantly means aviram nirantar. Incessantly means aviram nirantar. Without interruption or relief is called the incessantly. 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 Without interruption or release is called the incessantly. Appear while pursuit of false deer, incessantly repeated Shri Hari's name. She repeated Shri Hari's name. Shri Hari's name. When the Lord of Raghu saw his younger brother coming, he outwardly expressed much concerns. As you have left Janka's daughter alone and come here against my instruction. Come here against my instructions. You come here against my instructions. Instructions means what is the meaning of instructions? Incessantly. Instructions means against my instructions. Is against my instructions. Against my instruction. You come me against my instructions. Instruction means detailed information how should use something, do something is called the instruction. Detailed information how you should use something or do something is called the instruction. An order that tell you what to do or how to do something is called the instruction. An order that tell you what to do or how to do something is called the instruction. The order that tell you what to do or how to do something is called the instruction. An order that tell you what to do or how to do something is called the instruction. An order that tell you what to do or how to do something is called the instruction. An order that tell you what to do or how to do something is called the instruction. An order that tell you what to do or how to do something is called the instruction. An order that tell you what to do and how to do something is called the instruction. The order that tell you what to do and how to do something is called the instruction. Against what to do and how to do is called the instruction. The against my instruction, host of the demons are roaming. Demons means host of the demons. Host of the organized something. Host of the demons are roaming. Host of the demons. Demons means host of the demons roaming in the forest. Demons means an evil spirit is called the demons. Evil spirit is called the demons. Host of the demons. Demons a source of agent or evil harm, distress or ruin. The host or source of the agent source of the agent of evil harms, distress or ruin. The source of the agent of evil harm, distress or most of the heaven. The source of the agent of evil harm, distress or ruin. The source of agent of evil harm, distress or ruin. Evil spirit is called the demons. This evil spirit is called the demon. Evil spirit is called the image of devil which haunts and cloven hoof is called the image of the devils that haunts. Host of the demons are roaming about in the forest. Therefore suspect Sita is not in the hermitage. Lakshmana clasped Shri Rama's lotus feet and replied with joyed palm, Lord, it is not fault of the mine. Accompanied by his younger brother, the Lord went back to his hermitage on the bank of the Godavari. When he saw the hermitage bereft of the Janka's daughter, he felt as perturbed and afflicted as any common man, as perturbed and afflicted as any common man, perturbed and afflicted, perturbed and afflicted. They feel perturbed and afflicted. Perturbed perturbed and afflicted. Perturbed means chintit is called a perturbed and afflicted. Feeling or showing agitation, bothered, upset is called the perturbed. Feeling or showing agitation, bothered, upset is called the perturbed. Feeling or showing agitation, bothered or upset is called the perturbed. Feeling or showing agitation, bothered or upset is called the perturbed. Feeling or showing 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 upset is called the perturbed. Afflicted. Feeling or showing upset is called the perturbed. 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 Feeling or showing afflicted. Afflicted means afflicted. To cause somebody something to suffer pain. To cause somebody something to suffer pain is called afflicted. To cause somebody something to suffer pain is called afflicted. To cause somebody something to suffer pain is called afflicted. To cause somebody something to suffer pain is called afflicted. To cause somebody something to suffer pain is called afflicted. To cause somebody something to suffer pain is called afflicted. To cause somebody something to suffer pain is called afflicted. To cause somebody something to suffer pain is called to suffer pain. Sadness is called to cause somebody something to suffer pain, sadness is called afflicted. To cause somebody something to suffer pain, sadness is called afflicted. To cause somebody something to suffer pain is called afflicted. To cause somebody something to suffer pain, sadness is called afflicted. Shri Ramaya Namah.